I actually stole Pip's pen in that process. Can I borrow your pen? Look at how many I have.
I was just going to run get my notebook.
Yeah. It's hilarious. And how was everybody's long weekend? We were asking you about your footy. Did you guys have a good one?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Nice to have an extra day.
Yeah.
It was a nice weekend too, like the weather was so good.
It was really nice. Yeah.
Today feels like a Monday though, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Get it out of my head.
And it's a bit hard seeing everyone on vacation out there.
I know, like, keep it to yourself.
Totally.
I don't want to
You're
see.
having fun. It's terrible.
Close the blind.
Yeah.
Maybe some of you guys
The
have
Grinch of summer holiday.
Did any of you swim in the ocean on the weekend?
No.
Oh, okay.
did.
Did you see these
Crazy.
purple?
I wasn't in Sydney.
Oh, you were
Nelson
swimming
Bay.
somewhere else. Oh, okay. They're
Yeah.
freezing anyways, I've heard.
It was a very quick swim.
It looks so inviting, like it looks so green.
I know.
Beautiful.
There were a ton of these purple jellyfish
Oh.
all up and down the beach, all up the northern
Wow.
beaches. But I've never seen, like after 15 years, I've never seen them. There were
Strange.
hundreds of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
They-
But you could see tentacles, so I figured, well, you probably don't want to hang out with them. But yeah. Did you see these purple jellyfish on the weekend?
No.
I wonder, I thought
I've seen them in the past.
Yeah?
Big
The
purple ones?
Well, it wasn't the kind that goes like this. You
Yeah.
know, those ones, and they are dangerous.
Yeah.
It was like these smaller,
Baby.
they're like blob, and then they had the typical tentacles, and multiple, not like a... Yeah, no, they're, and I asked so many people, like Australian surfers, but everyone's like, I have no idea.
I've not seen that before.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like,
Everyone just goes
weird. They did. I was like, I'm running there with their kids. I was like, yeah, exactly. So should we start without Jade because time is tight for everybody, or what do we think?
Yeah. Or should I pop down and see if she's around?
I can. I can
yeah.
pop quick down and
That's
then
nice.
that way you can get started.
Oh, that's super nice.
thanks.
Okay, thank you.
right.
That's very kind. Okay, so basically, we all know what this is about, but I'll give a little preface. So TAG, obviously, it's a chance to chat with the clinicians. We're going to be chatting with basically anyone and anything to do with TAG at least once. So this is a chance to really just chat outside of, observing and things like that about the TAG program. And as you remember, the whole purpose of the research component is to better understand acceptability, satisfaction, some questions around efficacy, but less actually about that. It's more about feasibility, how well does it work, if it was going to be sustained and scaled, what would the state need to think about, those kind of questions. But there's lots of room for suggestions of improvements. There's no limit on the size of our final report, so I anticipate we could have pages of recommendations, especially if we're on the same page with respect to what might work better in the future or whatever. And of course I've been gathering, and we all have been gathering, comments that have been made during meetings or during the end or beginnings of, say, observations, things you guys have said are like, oh, this would be so good if it was 90 minutes. I remember I think you said that this week.
But I think one of the
Chris and-
parents brought it up that this would be better if it was longer sessions, so they had, more time to cover things and weren't rushed through things. And I think, I agree.
Yeah, so we've got some focus groups planned with parents, both at the end of the program, but also we're going to capture some parents on about week 2, we're hoping, face-to-face by Kelly doing them in Southern, to get a sense of expectation before the whole program happens of parents and schools, which I think will be helpful.
Yeah.
And we'll have some telephone interviews also with schools, John and Kelly and other clinicians in the region, just to see how, just logistics really, and thoughts around efficiency, efficacy, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I have some specific questions. So if it's okay with you guys, we might just go through them. Yeah, unless you want to start on any particular burning thing where you're like, it wakes me at night and I really want them to know. Because the other thing is too, it's a chance to potentially change some things. I mean, not huge, but yeah. So nothing is waking anyone in the night. Okay, that's good to hear. Okay. So I asked this, personally I don't know how I would answer this, but the acceptability of the program. Sort of what would that word mean? But that's a question we specifically said we would answer, and New South Wales Health said they wanted to know. Do you think the program is acceptable?
Yeah, what do you mean by
Exactly. I have no idea personally.
that?
Content or the
Yeah.
format.
Take it
or
any
the-
which way. I think it's probably when I think of that word, is it getting
people
people
like it?
Yeah, and is it dangerous? Like accepted it would be like the worst. Is it harmful? Is it is it liked, disliked? Yeah.
I think given recruitment's been such an issue, there's plenty of, the schools are consistently say there's plenty of parents who could benefit from this, but they're not returning the SDQs.
Yeah.
So whether that's about the format, like the telecare format, whether it's about, it being a parenting group only rather than a child group, I think, my
that's very
instincts
useful.
are that because it is only a parenting group, that it is less attractive to parents. Yeah. But the bits they do, I think at the teacher, they like that we work with the teachers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once they're in the group, I think that the telecare thing is okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
I think it's that initial anticipation of it, or initial expectation of what it would be like. And I think it's probably still too, even in the interviews, I always open with so do you FaceTime? Do you Skype? Is this completely foreign? And most of them are still yeah, this is really weird to me.
Yeah, right.
So I think the anticipation of it being really weird, but by the end of the interview, they're like, no, actually, that was fine. And it was still, you think back to those chats with LHD and other people who aren't used to the tele format as well, and for that, and they seem to have the same kind of anticipation that it's not going to be all right, or it's going to be much harder, and it is in some ways harder to do. But yeah, I agree. I think once parents are in the group, it feels okay. Yeah, in that format. But I would agree too that in that the model of it being in the school and on the ground, having the kids involved in a specific group, and it's all very kind of intertwined. I've had a couple of different parents, just ask, so how will my child be involved in this? So what will my child have to do for this?
Oh, yeah.
And once I explain it to them, in terms of in this age group, we know research tells us it's most effective to work with parents, they seem to be okay with that. But I think their expectation is that, well, it's done at the school, there must be a child component as well, and on the ground there is. So I wonder if that, just purely being a parent program, some parents might not see how that works, and some might not be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get the sense, as you were talking, I was just getting a sense you might be saying that the parent sounded a bit fearful that the child would be involved and it was telehealth. Was that coming through, or no? You just totally, they were just literally curious.
Curiosity.
How is this going to work with my child? Yeah. And why is this coming through the school and all that kind of stuff? Okay.
Yeah. And I think to the model of it, there have been some parents that are
Why are we targeted
by the school?
Oh, they did have that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How did you approach that?
Well, we just talked about the screening process with the SDQ that you guys filled out yourselves, and and they were fine.
And not everyone elected to do it.
Yeah.
So it's more,
Yeah. But particularly for some where there were no real concerns at school, they were I don't know why the school's now contacting me about this, but it was obviously based on their parents' SDQ, which was, just interesting to talk through with them. But I wonder if that was a bit of a barrier of parents that were initially contacted and thought, oh, I don't know why you contact me, I don't want anything to do with this. Whereas when we had a chance to explain it to them, they were more on board.
And so do you think, were parents told, did they have the expectation that, can you please fill in this questionnaire, the teacher will also fill one in,